Good morning, I'm Tamar Mehr and this is the day ahead. And on the agenda, no major economic news are scheduled for today. We are going to look in currency in play on the Aussie dollar with a spotlight ahead of the RBA rate decision tomorrow. On commodities, gold and oil continue to slide, strong sell-off coming in on Friday. And on the index market, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500. We had a weekend gap and opened above the key level of 2800. And starting with the Aussie dollar on the daily chart, and I want to mark the very strong level over here of 0.7070. You can see it has been quite a level in the past, support and resistance. We broke below it, completely rejected it and continue to trade above it, but currently we are compressing down into that level. Now interestingly, we did open in a gap up on the Aussie dollar after reports around the US-China trade agreement. But what we can see, we're trading lower again and we're coming down into Friday close. So this is a very key level for me on the Aussie dollar. And tomorrow with the interest rate decision from the Reserve Bank of Australia, if we see a nice break below this level and a close below it, I'll be looking for a pullback to test this level from underneath and a continuation of this bearish move. Now I want to bring the chart of Aussie versus the yen, because if we see some surge in the Australian dollar, I like this one better for long positions, and the reason is we can see this level around the 80 right here. Let's just mark this level through as well, and we can see that price in this case is compressing upward. We have somewhat of equal highs and higher lows with indicators somewhat flat. So if we'll see a break above this level to the upside and a strong close above it, I'll be looking for a pullback, test that level from above and a continuation of the move. And depending on which direction the Aussie dollar is going to take is the chart that I'm going to look at. However, I still need to see, no matter which chart it is, a good decisive break, either up on Aussie versus the yen or below the level on Aussie versus the US dollar. And moving into commodities, and on crude oil, we had another test, another go on Friday at that 58 level and completely rejected it. We pushed all the way down into the 55.5 area. We can see that area, if I mark that through, has also been the swing high on the way up and also that higher low on the way in that pullback. So quite a strong and important level on this market. Now currently we are in a bit of a range. We can see that a bit better on the 4 hours, are between the 55.5 to the 58 area, so dropping down into the lower time frame. And after such major move and into that level, I'll expect a little bit of a pullback, perhaps into that 56 area. We can have another touch over here, previous touches around that area, and maybe another test of that lower level. That when we have a market that is stuck in a range, I really like to see a break above those levels. The middle area of a range is a little bit dangerous and a higher risk, because we can see either a push to the upside or to the downside with not a lot of protection for our stop loss. Moving into the chart of gold, and we also had quite a strong sell-off in gold and a really good pullback in the context of the weekly chart. And we can see here, after a strong selling week, we're sitting here in the buy zone, that area between the 10 and the 20 moving averages. All the moving averages, the 10, the 20 and the 50, are all fanning and in the correct order for an uptrend. And we also have nice convergence here on the momentum indicators. It's a strong sell-off, it's a strong pullback, and we are actually at the moment below the level of 1300. So what I'd like to see is how the market is holding around that level. I'll be looking for a bullish candle in the buy zone, a break above it, and really a continuation of this overall long-term trend. Keeping in mind though, this is a very strong level that we have been rejecting, so we could see a little bit of a sideways action as the market keeping up the momentum, building up a bit more in order to test this level again. But I'd like to see first signs that the buyers have returned into this market before I look to any trading opportunities to the upside. If we take a look here on the 4 hours, what we can see is that we still have quite a strong downtrend, and any push higher could simply be a pullback in the context of these 4 hours. So I'd like to see the lower time frame changing direction first before I'm looking for a higher time frame trading opportunity to the long side. And on the index market, we have seen Monday morning bringing a gap up, and we actually did close higher on Friday. However, we still had that high of February to close above. So if we'll zoom in into the daily chart, we can actually see that we gapped up above that high as well. So going down into the 4 hours, what I'll be looking for is a little bit of a pullback. We did gap up. We are very overextended, meaning there's quite a distance between where price action sits right now and its moving averages. And I also like to see this weekend gap close. So a pullback into the buy zone. We can see we do have an uptrend here. We do have the moving averages fanning and in the correct order, and very nice convergence here on the momentum indicator. So a little bit of a release of this strong buying pressure and a continuation of this longer term uptrend. A similar story is on the Germany index, on the DAX. So let's have a look on the daily chart. And on the German index, we didn't have such a high gap over here, such a big gap, and we'll see that a bit clearer on the lower time frame. But what I really like is this level, is the level that was resistance for a couple of days around the 11,560. Rejection, 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 until finally we strongly smashed above it, and currently we are overextended. Now we do have a nice agreement here from the momentum indicators. They are pushing higher. So going down into the lower time frame and into the 4 hours, we can see not as big as a gap as we've seen on the S&P, but I see this level, if I'll zoom out a bit, it's quite a strong level. We tested it before, we fell before that. You can see all these tests. We fell quite sharply, we came at it again, we consolidated below, we fell a bit, tested the 11,400 and broke above it, and also closed above it on the 4 hourly and on a daily candle as well. So what I'm looking for in this case is a higher time frame trading opportunity. I'm actually looking at the daily chart, and I'm looking for a pullback into this breakout level. I'm looking for a bullish candle rejecting this level, and I'll be looking for a continuation of this move. So a little bit of patience around this area for me, because I am looking for a higher time frame trading opportunity. Happy trading everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.